Welcome to another episode of DIOTALK. I'm Dio. Let's talk. I want to present to you my guest today. He is multi-talented, but most of all, very resourceful and skillful. I want to present to you my guest today, the great Gabe Rivera. How are you, Gabe?
Welcome to the show. Everybody clapping. Thank you. I can hear everybody clapping and cheering for me. Woo! I'm doing pretty good, man. Thanks for having me here. And, I had you on my live. Yes. So, I am humbled at this point because you're the one controlling the environment. And I'm excited.
Well, it's here. This is to have fun. To have fun. So let's talk about what you've been doing lately. What's going on with online digital education?
Right here, online digital education. Online digital education is in its infancy still, man. I like many people this year, right? The pandemic just like gave everybody a smack in the ass and made us realize that we weren't prepared to have life kick our asses as hard as it's been, and luckily for me, I was already an online teacher. I've been teaching online ESL English since 2017, and that's been an up and down, battle.
Yeah.
But I've had my stability over the past year and change with a Chinese company. So I was already before the pandemic hit, and like in October of last year, I was hired, by this new company, and I was like excited, and I start January 1st, and then all of a sudden, a month later, the whole world went into a panic. The whole teaching world went into a panic. And I was like, wow, I feel pretty good about myself because it wasn't foresight. I was just doing my due diligence, trying to protect my future economically, stability wise. And the pandemic hit, and all of a sudden, there's a mad rush on the internet for teachers to want to get a job. I want to teach online. Hire me. And every Chinese company out there started to overhire. And I'm part of a group. I work for Bling ABC. And Bling ABC overhired as well. And all of a sudden, I'm looking at the group messages, teachers, the teacher chatter on Facebook. They're like, I got no classes. I have one student. And I'm filled to the rim. I mean, I did great economically from February till July, that winter, spring semester. I was thriving.
Wow, blessed.
And teachers were like starving to death more and more in the US and all over the world. So, I felt really good about that, right? So, unbeknownst to me, again, the pandemic hit. And I'm thinking again, I'm doing my forward thinking. I need to have an additional source of income. And like everybody today, we go online, and the first thing we do is we look for things like, how do I make more money on the internet?
Yes.
What is a side hustle?
I'm guilty. I'm guilty. I'm guilty.
You and everybody else. And the funny thing is that we call that a side hustle on the internet, but that's what we call a part-time job in the brick and mortar environment. And you couldn't get a part-time job anywhere because the economies are crumbling all over the place, right? So I started to look, man, and this was in July because when my semester ended, oh man, I started to feel the pandemic stress. My student role went from 100% to 20, maybe 30%. And I went from earning really good dollars in Ecuador. And I say in Ecuador because I get paid in US dollars, but I live in an economy that's 4 times cheaper than the US.
So the value is not the same.
It's much better. What I was getting paid a king's ransom here in Ecuador with US dollars. In the US, I would have been starving to death. Or I would have needed a roommate to get by. But I lost that. And now I'm like, oh my God, because the national monthly income here in Ecuador is $400 a month.
Wow.
I don't know how to live on $400 a month. People here live on $400 a month on a family of four, believe it or not. And again, U.S. born and bred, so I'm a capitalist mentality and whatnot. So I'm like, what am I going to do? And I started to look for side hustles or additional side hustles. And I came across in late June, early July, a legendary marketer, and that's the name of this organization, legendary marketer, and create your business online and all this stuff. And I was captivated. I was like, wow, that's pretty cool, man. And I feel like I'm a smart guy. I'm educated. I got common sense. Well, guess what? It doesn't matter how much education or common sense you have.
Mm-hmm.
Marketers are pretty smart freaking people, man. And advertising will sucker you into anything if you don't do your due diligence.
That is correct.
So I got involved in this 15-day free course, that'll give me a hand holding step by step of how to get it done. So I was like, okay, it was actually $1. I was like, okay, for $1, let's see how far I can take this, right? They even provided me with a what was it, a business consultant call once a week. And this was from a guy who's already in that company or that program from South Africa. So I looked up this guy, the legendary marketer, CEO, Dave Sharp. I started to look at that. I'm like, well, okay, this guy's pretty cool. He comes from nothing. He's had a struggle in life, so he's got a backstory that I vibe with. And I was like, okay, I came to Ecuador, man. I had to leave U.S. for some BS, and now I'm back here. And by the way, I left the U.S. not because I'm running from the law, people. Okay. and D.I.O knows that. As a matter of fact, he bought my TV.
I did. I did.
I had a fire sale, and you were like, yeah, hey, take it, whatever. Dude, that was terrible. But anyway, I vibe with this guy's backstory, and I paid the $1, and I get access to a whole beautiful internet environment. And I did lesson 1 and then lesson 2, and I'm watching the video, and I'm doing the program. And this guy's calling me now from South Africa every week. And then when I get to lesson 7, okay, I asked a question to this consultant. I said, hey, listen, I know that at some point you're going to want to charge me for something. All right, because obviously this guy, Dave Sharp, is not worth $200 million unless he's charging some kind of money.
That is correct.
So he says to me, well, and he tried to skip through it. And I was like, okay, look, you're not going to tell me, fine. So he says to me, in order for me to unlock 8 through 15, okay, you got to do this, this, and that. But on lesson 8, that's where he will expose the cost of his full program. So I was like, all right. So he unlocks everything for me. And I go right into 8, and I look at the price, and I'm saying to myself, oh, man, I could afford it. It was actually $2,500. And I was like, I could afford it, but I only had $3,000. And I was in July and August where I had, 70% less income from teaching. My future's uncertain now. I don't know what's going to happen in September with my teaching because of the pandemic. There's less students. It was a mess. And I'm like, I'm not paying this guy $2,500. You know what? Screw this. So I went back on YouTube. I started looking for other ways of making money. And I came across a YouTube video from a guy named Big Mark. And Big Mark was presenting a ClickFunnels, video. And I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. That sounds interesting. So I checked that out based on his recommendation on the video. And I come across Russell Brunson. Russell Brunson is the CEO and one of the 3 founders of ClickFunnels. And what is ClickFunnels? ClickFunnels is a new website, a new way of doing websites. We have websites as what the way we know it for the last 30 years. And now websites are called funnels. And it's a sales funnel. It's a sales strategy on the internet. But it's not new because it's actually 100 years old, this sales funnel strategy. It's just that Russell Brunson put it now in modern times in a perspective that's fresh, that's cool, and people vibe with that. So I started to look more into this guy, Russell Brunson. I'm like, wow, I really like what this guy's talking about. And then I saw his video. So this is what really sold me on him. I'm watching his video. He's not talking. All he has is flashcards. And on each flashcards, you got to read what he's talking about. But it's just like 1 cent per flashcard. It made all the sense in the world. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm reading this. And I'm so captivated. And I kept reading. And the last one, he said, what are you waiting for? And I was like, I'm in. So what he offers is a 30-day challenge, or what's called the One Funnel Away Challenge, for $100. Everything that this legendary marketer wanted for $2,500, I got for $100 and then some. And that just opened up, an amazing experience
Wow.
for me, because in 30 days, I acquired what I can consider a master's degree in digital marketing. And I may have the degree, but I'm still learning, because 30 days, that's a lot of information. I'm talking literally 7 days a week for 30 days, high value. I mean, everything and all the hand holding that you could need and want to understand how to launch your business online. He provided this. So I went through it. Now, in the first week that I'm going through it, I bump in my Facebook community group, or the ClickFunnels group, I bump into some guy named Todd Graves, who's doing a live, and he's just wrapping up the last 5 minutes. And he says, and if you want to do this 5-day challenge with Dream Car winner Doug Boughton, just put a hashtag over here, whatever it was. And I was like, I'm in. I'm excited now, right? This is July. This was in July 26th into August 5th. It was on a Monday. And I got involved in Doug Boughton's 5-day challenge because he's a ClickFunnels alumni. So I started both at the same time. And I figured, okay, I can handle the 5 days as I start the 30 days. I completed the 5 days and blew my mind. In 5 days, I had my own personal funnel. I have a digital, membership funnel site. And then I did the 30 days with Russell Brunson. And now my mind is just overwhelmed. I'm inundated with information, but I
Wow.
became part of Doug's group. And I was like, wow, this is really, to me, it's life changing, because I want to earn, ethical money promoting ethical products. It's like when you go to the store and somebody says, hey, ¿qué café tú tomas? Ah,
Mhm.
café butero. I recommend it. And then you get paid a nickel for recommending that, coffee. That's ethical.
Yeah.
So ClickFunnels is ethical. Doug Boughton is ethical. So I went through Doug Boughton's program, and in 5 days, at the end, he says to everybody, now look, if you want my 12-month hand holding, it'll cost you this much. It costs $997. I said, $1,000 for 1 full year, and all the hand holding and all the, all the tools, all the knowledge, all the skills every week. And you've seen my week to
Hmm.
week Wednesday mastery calls that I'm involved in, and I pay for it. And I have not regretted it since, because, it allowed me to define what I want to do, or what I need to do for myself. And here's the best part. It's not about making money. It's about helping people. So I chose to help teachers during this pandemic. And that's how online digital education was born, after a series of, I started out first as a BOT, billionaire online teachers, I started thinking, right? And then I went from billionaire online teachers to from teacher to scholars. And then from there, I just settled into online digital education. And I've been building my community. I've been building my group. I provide content. So I'm learning, I'm learning how to help and solve problems for teachers online. Because, I read some reports, man, that say, and it's very clear, and I didn't write this, some very reputable internet research groups that say the next 10 years is a pivotal point on this century's way of living, way of life, a way of earning money. This pandemic is not a coincidence. I personally believe this, like millions. This is planned, and it has forced people to move from brick and mortar to, the internet, to live your life on the internet. And a lot of teachers are trying to transition to doing that, but they're still thinking, I got to work for somebody on the internet. No, you don't.
Mhm.
You could work for yourself if you learn how to build, your funnel, if you learn how to build your community, if you learn how to vibe with people, if you learn how to identify an educational niche, if you learn how to put it all together organically, which means you're broke, you got to do the hard work, you don't pay for ads, and you build trust. And once you start to do that, build that trust, and people start to, come into your community, see what you're talking about, because you got all this high value content that you really care about, the message that you're trying to deliver. As you promote, affiliate educational programs, which is what I do. I promote 5 ways to monetize your educational experience and degrees. A lot of teachers have everything from a bachelor's to a doctorate,
Mhm.
and yet they're working for somebody else. Well, on the internet, you don't have to, because based on this research that I read, things have changed. Right now, you can actually work on, and you should be working on the internet on your own educational niche, providing that you have the experience and the academic degrees to back it up. And once you do that, if you create a mini course, a niche mini course, that is the foundation for your 6 figure or better sustainability online.
I think that's awesome. I think you're definitely being a pioneer in this new digital age, because this pandemic has changed and forced us to get out of a comfort zone and evolve.
Yeah.
And now with see, where I'm from, I'm not sure how the school districts are going. Some people are telling me they're going to school. Some people telling me they're have online classes. And I think where you're trying to create, or where you are creating, is important, because now it gives us, like back in the day they would say, uh the public system does not provide good education. Now
It
the
was designed
government
that way.
now the government is like giving you a best basically like a fu, right?
Yeah.
And now the parents are forced to educate their child. And now if you don't invest in your child,
Yeah.
how much you invest is in your child. You If you don't invest tons of effort, your child's not going to have a good education.
No.
So this is where your platform is gonna basically come in to play, giving that niche of, is it good or bad? You're that option.
Well, I'm one of many options. You
Mhm.
know, for example, like today, I went live today in my group, and every time I do that, I post it on my YouTube channel, the same program. Episode 63. Today's title was Teacherpreneur Psychology: How Students Decide to Buy Your Mini Course. And like any consumer, right? Students are consumers as well, especially now in the internet. They understand that if you can't go to school brick and mortar and sit down and daydream while you look out the window or ignore your teacher or play on the phone, you got to get your education someplace else. So if it's not private tutoring or private mentoring in the brick and mortar environment, which is expensive, your only other option is online. But see, online, you have all these billion-dollar, education companies that they're grabbing that brick and mortar mentality and trying to shove it into this digital way of being, and that's where issues are happening right now with education. That's where the conflict exists, because there is no shift in forward thinking now with the big billion-dollar companies, but there is with the individual educator. If you're an educator that has 20 years experience, 10 years, 5 years, 2 years, 20 minutes, and you have Doesn't matter if you're an associate degree, if you got a certificate, PhD, doctorate, whatever. You have enough experience, okay, if you have the high value and the high ethic mentality or that mindset to create a niche education. And that's what students are looking for, you know. And let me just say this as a full disclaimer, because I tell this to everybody every day. This is not a get rich quick program. You know, if you're in a hurry to get scammed, you got to get out of here, because education is like any other, like Bitcoin advertising or whatever, automobile. I mean, people selling products, and it's like a big scam on the internet, because this is the digital gold rush. You know, but I only work with high value, high integrity educators, you know, and this online business model is organic, and it requires a commitment from starting to growing your audience over a 90 to 120-day period. Every day, you know, for a shot of succeeding, you know, and the reason why results vary is due to how much work you actually model from this proven system. You know, a lot of people want to, they want that instant gratification, that digital crack that we're so addicted to right now. You know, that's instant gratification. If you're not going to get it like this, people don't believe it, you know? And I'm sorry to say, if you want to launch an online educational business, you got two options. You can work for somebody else like I do. I work Sundays to Fridays. I love it, man. Those kids are cool. They're in China. I work from 4 o'clock in the morning to 8 a.m. because of the time zone difference. They treat me well. They pay me well. They just recontracted me until June of 2021, June, July. But that leaves me 20 hours in the day to do what I'm doing right now. And what I'm doing is I'm building a community. And why on Facebook? Because Facebook is focused on groups and communities, highly ethical, high integrity, trusting communities. And this is where you're going to find your students. Students are actually coming onto Facebook looking for educators. They're looking for a niche education. And this is where I show and teach online teachers that instead of working for somebody else, which you can, and there's nothing wrong with that, in parallel, you can create your own educational niche program, high value, and earn 6 figures, as long as you attract your dream audience. You know, so for example, you know, I provide a teacher niche guide, and teachers are like, you know, niche, like they know what the word means or whatever. But you know, like if you're an arts and crafts teacher or vocational school teacher, let's say, right? You know, and you teach plumbing and electrical, which is a subject, or yeah, I talk about a lot about this. You know, you may be thinking, well, how do I do that online? You know, it's physical. Well, you got to learn how to one, become an attractive character, which means you got to be able to vibe with students who are looking for an educator in plumbing and electrical. Once you find that community where the students hang out, because they do, people congregate in Facebook a lot in groups. Once you find them, you know, all you got to do is have a humanizing conversation with them and find out what's up with them. What are they looking for? Don't sell them on the idea that you're a teacher, or you can tell them that, but don't sell them that, oh, I got a program, ven pa acá. No, it doesn't work like that. You want to find out, you know, what are they looking for? What are their needs? Provide, or at least, you know, give some meaningful commentary into what they're talking about in their community, and then stand out. Let them notice you so they can follow you back to your profile and say, oh, this guy's a teacher. He teaches what I like. Now they're going to hang out in your community, in your Facebook profile, and say, oh, look at that. Look at this content, because it's your job as an educator to provide daily content that resonates with your dream audience. And then in doing this, you provide 5 free high value lessons, free. Because if you give somebody something free, they're going to be like, wow, I got value. They're going to talk about it. Other kids are going to listen and say, wow, that's cool. Where'd you get that? I'm going to go there and check it out. And as you're building up your community, then you, in your community, you can say, look, by the way, I offer a 30-day self-paced, self-educated, okay, high value, highly ethical, 16 lesson plan education on plumbing and electrical for $97 a month. Yeah, $97 a month. All you need is 100 students. 100 students times 97 is six figures a year. You only have to create the mini course once and cap it off at 100 students, because when you create scarcity, there's going to be another 100 in the back saying, I want in. Well, you can't in right now, man. I got 100 students right now. They're loving it. But next month, when I open up the new window, there's going to be a flood of another 100. And that's another 10 grand a month. That's six figures a year, providing high value, high education. And I show educators how to do this because it makes all the sense in the world. The problem is that you got to do the hard work. It takes 90 to 120 days to prepare your Facebook profile, create content, talk to people.
But that goes around like when you're starting your own business. They'll tell you it takes 4 to 5 years to actually see some residual income. You
Yeah,
know, I think people. I agree when you say marketing people are very smart because they've capitalized on that marketing and made people think that you want to make $1,000, you just have to do this, and the next day you got a Lamborghini or a
it's the
Bugatti,
gratification. Right.
and I think that's impossible.
It is
And
impossible.
I think that's one thing I'm trying to do with my platform is bring that nitty gritty back, bring that rawness because we need that.
Right.
We need that. People need to know that things don't happen overnight.
Right.
Um, you're not going to become a billionaire overnight or a millionaire. That you have to do some type of work, and because marketers have done such a great job, everybody wants to be Facebook famous or Insta famous or YouTube famous. You
Right.
know, when you go on YouTube, the first thing that'll pop up is you want to make 100,000 bucks, just click the link. And I find that so annoying because I'm here trying to, like, when I'm on YouTube, I'm either looking for some music or I'm trying to learn a new skill set
Right.
that will help me, eventually in the future. And it the market is so good that it derails my path. And next thing you know, I'm seeing this image of this guy lifting weights underwater, but when I click the video, has nothing to do with the image. So they accomplished what they set out to do.
Yeah, and they're going to continue to accomplish that. But see, here's the difference, okay? Which is the way I've learned it, and I'm still learning it. There is no secret to success. There is a system to success. And this is a quote by Les Brown.
Preach.
Les Brown. I believe he's a Baptist preacher, man. But I know that he's a 70-plus-year-old, very smart man. He's from southern U.S. I believe it's in Georgia, if I remember correctly. And he has a lot of followers. He does a live broadcast every day, every other day. A very well-spoken man, and he is an affiliate marketer as well. But he's been doing it longer, and that's his quote. There is no secret to success. There's a system to success. And the thing about it is, you can model success, okay, to become as successful, minus all the BS that comes with it. And Russell Brunson is a big advocate of that, and his mass movement is based all on that, which is, and he'll even tell you, model my success. Don't duplicate me, because that's like cheating. That's being unethical. But you can ethically model what I'm doing. Change my picture, change my words, use my different colors, but have the same framework.
Put some sazon on it. It could be you can't reinvent the wheel. You
No,
can only you can't do it as your form.
right.
Echa un poco de sazón,
Yeah,
y métele merengue,
yeah,
and you're
exactly.
good.
And as long as you keep nurturing that new look, which is yours, because you should own it, success is inevitable. But see, here's the thing, the purpose is not monetary. It cannot be economic. If your purpose to launch an online business is just to make money, you might as well go away. Okay. The focus and the purpose always should be, who are you going to help? What problems can you solve for your dream audience? Because the more people that you serve, the more people that you help, the money is a blessing, you know. The money just actually does come because you're building trust. Once you start to build that trust, you start to realize, man, if I even think or fart unethically, I'm going to damage everything that it took for me to get to this point, like that.
Yeah, you create values and you have self-respect and morals on what you're doing. And I don't think I don't know. I know for a fact, just because I've worked in the outside world, I've had my 52 to up salaries, and I've seen this. And I also, like, the last employments I had, we lost literally like 25 accounts due to COVID. But they were accounts that would have kept us, even, they would lower the price, but we still would have kept them if they had some integrity. But when
I
you
agree.
focus on the money, right? Like, tell me if somebody that you dislike, that you know is not good business, that, all right, you want me to work for you, this is how much, and I'm willing to work for you. But tell me you like the person and you're willing to work with that person, it's totally a different story. Um, the way of business nowadays is not as it once was before. And I say this in my experience, because I've read books on big entrepreneurs, and I look at and I compare to what I've read, that somewhat factual, to what I see now. It's floppy.
As long as we have been in existence as human beings, there's always been a scam. You know, I mean, we could look at Adam and Eve as the first big scam in life, at least in the religious aspect, right? Eva, have an apple. I got scammed. She should have eaten the orange. But that's always going to exist. That's always going to be part of the good versus evil type of mantra. It's like, who do you want to be? You want to be the superhero, or you want to be the villain? So it doesn't matter, because it already exists. It probably will never be any different. What makes it different, or a defining moment in a person's life, is when you make a decision. When a person makes that decision, that this is the way I'm going to do it. And I'm for the good. I'm for the good guy. And there's less of us, and there's always been less good people than the bad people,
Hmm.
for whatever reason. But I don't care about that, because all it takes is one good person, all right, to move mountains. And there's been
Yes,
plenty of good examples
amen
in
to
our
that.
lifetime with that, you know, uh, especially now in the digital environment. I know this much, man. I'm on track with what I'm doing since I made a decision. I got mad, which is something that I just learned recently. MAD, make a decision. Get mad, and get real about what your purpose is, because serving others before serving yourself, okay, it's a long journey, it's a lonely journey, but it's what's called the hero's two journey. It creates a transformation of what you wanted to do when you set out to do it, to what you actually become when you accomplish that goal. And I got mad in October of this year, when, after lallygagging the first, month, after the OFA challenge in September, the whole month of September, I spent it tripping on myself, trying to figure out how to get it done, how to get it started, this and that. And then in October is when I got mad. And I've actually been going live every day, since. And I've taken a couple of days off, either I couldn't do it or whatever, but I'm on track, and I'm going to
Consistency.
continue to be on track. And consistency is key,
Hmm.
but providing value is key. It's not just, uh, talking about how to make money. It's about humanizing your dream audience. What's in it for them? How do they benefit from this? You know, Showing them a side of your life that is not all that shiny object bullshit. The big car, the big yacht, the beautiful girl. Yeah, la modelo.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's empowering in a lot of ways, and it can be daunting in many others, because it's the hard work of having to, you know, bring to light the false beliefs that people have. People live on a daily basis with false beliefs that they consider that to be, yeah, well, that's not true. Yeah, you've heard that many times. Like, yeah, that's not true. Yeah, really? Yeah, okay. So having to learn how to bring a person's false beliefs, into light, and then, destroy that false belief, and then rebuild it in the same person. That's not an easy task as an affiliate marketer. That's what we do. That's what you're doing now, because even dreamers, okay, have false beliefs
Yes.
and have doubts and have insecurities, and a lot of us, if anything, most of us, don't want to dive below the surface to get to the root of that pain. Once you get to the root of that pain and you start to rebuild that new belief system, it becomes a movement. It becomes a mass movement, and that's what something that a lot of leaders in life have had in common. The new opportunity versus let's make a change. Well, I'll give you an example, which I just learned. I thought it was phenomenal, only because I was like, oh my God, it's so true. We went back 30 years, 40 years in political history in the US. Every politician that won, okay, had a new opportunity. Those who lost were preaching, we need a change. I was like, oh my God, this is so true. So, any mass movement, whether it's political, religious, or other, they all have that in common. Those who have offered a new opportunity, they vibe better with the people that they're trying to attract. People want a new opportunity, they want change. This is a new opportunity in the
Yeah,
21st
that
century.
is that is so true. What you're saying. That is so true.
You know, you gotta, people have to read it and believe it and then execute it at a daily basis in order to become it. It's not enough to read and believe, if you don't become that message. I'm becoming this message because I strongly believe in it that much, and it's going to happen. My mission is 688,000 teachers by December of 2021.
Goal. Wow.
And once I do that, I should be golden. Not because the money is going to happen. The money will happen regardless, because look, it's two
There's a
type of people.
change. It's the impact. It's a new opportunity you want to give.
Yeah, and it's being given. The thing is that there's two type of people. You got those who want to buy and those who want to sell. And you could use that as a metaphor and apply it to just about everything and anything in life that we do. It's a buy and sell. The thing is that there's a lot more buyers than, I mean, a lot more, yeah, buyers and sellers. I sell the opportunity for educators globally at every level, okay, to learn how to start, grow, and earn using Facebook organically. But I have to filter their false beliefs, and answer a lot of questions. And I'm good with that. I mean, you come on down, man. Ask me the questions, because there's no BS here. The thing is that when they hear I can make six figures doing this, they don't believe it. So they'll look at somebody who'll say, look, if you invest $1,000, I'll get you 24 million in Bitcoin tomorrow. They'll give that person $1,000, right?
Mm-hmm.
Before they give it to me. And I'm like, yeah, hey, good for you for getting burned. Good for you. What can I say? All right. This is not get rich quick. It involves a lot of hard work daily, every day, todos los días, toda hora. I'm an ATM, a toda hora, and it doesn't matter. I'm doing the right thing. I'm okay with that. It's just a matter of time as I continue to grow. My group is growing. I think it's great. Got some followers. I think it's great. You know, but I got a lot of work to do, and I got a lot of work to do for myself
Yes.
as I continue to, talk about this new opportunity because it is a new opportunity. But only if you want to be that seller. If you want to sell your educational experience, your educational degrees, and you want to make an impact on a niche audience, then you can do that with Facebook. But if you want to be the one who is looking for the teacher, go away because this is not for you. Or go back to the Board of Education. That's fine too. Look,
Yeah.
nobody's gonna get mad at you. All right, nobody's gonna get mad at you, man. But you know what? In 10 years, it's 2030, and that means we're into Jetson era. Okay, so you can either conform or fall back,
Yeah,
regardless.
I think this is a great thing for teachers because if you're gonna start a side hustle, why not start it with something you already know and you're already doing?
Exactly.
Don't go 360 for something that you never done before.
Exactly.
Or do something you're passionate about. And you're expanding your horizons. That if you get tired of that 9 to 5 and working with the public school system, you can lay back and just go because you have dedicated a time that is needed to create your side business, your side hustle, your portfolio to do what you have to do.
You said something interesting about 9 to 5, right? That's been the norm since I was born. And the whole idea of a perfect life was, you go to work 9 to 5, you
Yeah.
come home, you got the house, the kids, and all the bullshit, right? But you spend a 9 to 5 working, and then 9 to 5 became 9 to 6, 9 to 6 became 9 to 9 over the course of the last 50 years of my life. Now, here we are, 21st century, and I just read this in a research group, which I thought was fascinating information. You see, the next 10 years, again, is pivotal in this century because it is the digital era. So let's get that right, okay? This is not a farce. You are living in the 21st century, and it's freaking digital. Okay? But what is shifting is, again, because of the pandemic, how we work. In the 9 to 5 mentality, it is work then your life. In this 21st century, it is your life, then your work. And when you work online and you create an online sustainable business that is high value, that actually, solves problems, okay, and especially as a teacher, you're giving a good education. You're only doing that for 2 hours a day, not 8 hours a day. So now you got the rest of the day to hang out with your family. Now you have more family
Hmm.
time that you didn't have back in the 20th century. It's a whole different shift of way of thinking, of way of living, of way of everything. And the adaptation period over the first 20 years, which is from 2000 to in another 3 days is the 31st, people are still acting like, are we still back in 1999? No, it's freaking it's like the 21st century, coño.
It's funny that you say that because once I worked myself up to management and operation management, and now working closely to CEOs and owners of the business and vice presidents. They all gave me this option, and wasn't an option. They all told me this: you're gonna have to choose. You're gonna have to choose your family or your job. And
I
I
remember that.
see, yeah, and I think I spoke to this in my past episodes with my past guests, some of them, and how do I explain? They gave me that option, and I see all these people like they're successful, they have money, have a nice house, but they're lonely, they're alcoholics, you
But they
know,
sacrificed for that.
they have nothing, and sometimes they mix work or personals.
Mhm.
Like the last, I'm not gonna say her name because it's, I do respect her, but the way things went down, she's unworthy.
I know who she is. No, I don't.
Uh, and she kept on. This is the vice president of a company. Kept
Hmm.
bringing personal matters,
Right,
our kids, our ex-husband, drinking, and she's powerful within this that platform she's in, and she's like a child, like a child throwing a tantrum.
right.
So she's throwing a tantrum not about business, but about her personal life.
Right.
And then,
Or lack thereof.
yeah, then she wants to bring business to the table, and yet she doesn't know how to conduct it either.
Low emotional
And
intelligence.
I've had this conversation several times with my wife and several other people. If I'm gonna do something, I'm not gonna sacrifice. I'm gonna do eat 50-50. I have to, it's gonna take me a longer journey to get where I want to go, but I'm
Right,
not sacrifices because if I need to work, if I need to be the provider, that's not that's not an option off the table. But if I need my family, because that's why I'm being a provider for. That's why I'm sacrificing that time, and it's something I'm not willing to sacrifice. I'm taking it both, and it's been a long journey. It's continued to be a long journey until I
it
get
will
what
be.
it needs to be.
Right, it will be. You know, family life in this century trumps work life. And the only reason why people are panicking is because it is a transitional period. We are in that paradigm shift of, I don't know how to do this new thing. And now we panic and we say, well, let's fall back and go back to what we already do know. But that's where your danger is, because it's no different than going from 1890 to 1920 when they started inventing planes, trains, and automobiles, and that guy with a horse was like, "I ain't giving up my horse." Well, guess what? You didn't adapt. You didn't transition. You died.
But it's the same question I've been asking everybody. I think I'll say this again. Um, for those who's listening, know that I actually, in my past episodes, what have you done to better yourself in this pandemic? There's people that have taken this pandemic and just taken this time as a long ass vacation. There's other individuals like myself that I've dedicated my life to real estate. I've expand my I created and own my own t-shirt printing company.
Mhm.
I dedicated and invested in that. I'm doing this now. I've I invested in myself in so many areas, from educating and achieving skill sets, to be self efficient and not rely on anybody else. But and I apologize if I sound uh judgmental. Not everybody has done that. Like I stopped paying for a $25 haircut and I started learning on cutting my own hair. Yeah, that it's it's fucked up in certain sides, but I've done that. The last time I went to barbershop, I think was in August. I paid $25 for a haircut plus a $50 ticket, and I was there 3 hours to get a damn haircut. But yeah, nowadays I just go throw the clippers on. If I want to practice my fade, I'll practice a fade, or now just give myself a nice shape. But I've asserted myself, learned a new skill set, and I am self-efficient. And if I continue to do that, I'll get better at it. But not a lot of people have done that, and I'm highly disappointed.
You know, you said something very. You said several very interesting things. One of the things that you said was, I apologize for, and don't. You have zero reason to apologize to anybody, okay, who hasn't walked in your shoes. Another thing that you said that was interesting is, what have people done during this pandemic? And you said you invest in yourself, and that is absolutely true. People do one of two things: we either spend money on ourselves or we invest in ourselves. The majority of the people rather spend money and then fucking whine about it and act like, how come I didn't get my cut in life? Well, I'm sorry, the rug wasn't cut for you to walk on that way. Okay, if you learn only to spend money, there's a point in people's lives. You're much younger than me, 20 years younger than me probably. Okay, where you just had that pivotal moment in this pandemic to say, I'm going to invest in myself and do the things that I need to do so I can have long-term sustainability, delayed gratification. I did the same thing. I got no choice, to be honest with
Mm-hmm.
you, but I get that, and this is why I've been building my community, because I've been investing in myself. I've been doing the reading. I've been relating to those who I actually understand where they come from, their backstory, because I come from the same backstory. Everybody has a struggle. It's just that a lot of people don't want to complete that struggle. They give up because it didn't happen sooner than they wanted it. Well, this is why I say in my disclaimer, results vary based on how much work you put into it, man. If you're only going to put 20 minutes a day into your future, hey, don't complain, But if you're going to put in that 20 hours, put in 20 hours. How
Or if
many
you
people hang out?
or if you're gonna put 20 minutes, don't half-ass it. Don't
Right.
half-ass it. You know what
No.
I'm saying? Don't
Make,
half-ass it.
make it a focused 20 minutes. How many people hang out on Facebook for 8 hours a day doing absolutely nothing? I used to do that, kind of, not as much as a lot of other people. But here's my point. I'm on Facebook now 20, 60 hours a week, but I'm actually working 60 hours a week on my Facebook profile, on my Facebook community, on content creation.
It's a
I'm actually
tool.
going live. It is a tool
It's
because
a tool.
Facebook has 2.7 billion people, which is 30% of the world's population, in their pocket. And if you can generate 100 people, 100 students out of 2.7 billion, you can earn six figures. Imagine that if you were just that focused on wanting to believe in that. You know, again, it's a matter of making a decision. Right? You either get mad or you don't. And if you get mad, okay, don't half-ass it. Go mad 100% until you actually reach that personal nirvana that has helped those people that need your experience, and then you get paid, right?
Yeah.
Or you get paid on the way.
Yeah. My
But don't be
my
asking for money for shit that you don't do, because we got used to trading time for money with what's called an employer. Being an entrepreneur is not easy, and that's why we have less entrepreneurs than we have consumers. But those few entrepreneurs like D.I.O, like myself, or like anybody else that I know, okay, the reason why we make the big bucks is because we make the bigger sacrifices over the long term, not the short term.
Yeah, it's the longevity. It's I had a conversation with a good friend of mine, and I basically he was a hustler. He thinks that hustling is the best key. And my response was how you hustle, because a lot of people hustle to make a quick dollar.
Mm-hmm.
The quicker you make it, the quicker you go, the
Yep.
quicker it disappears.
Right.
But if you're trying to put a plan together and create a longevity, you is going to come in time. You're going to be able to enjoy the fruit of your labors.
Right.
You know. But if you're always on that, make a quick buck and saying anything just to get a quick buck, you're scamming people. You're not creating a solid foundation. You're not creating a trustworthy network. You're not doing anything for yourself. You're just damning yourself for the future. So when you do want to create something, nobody wants
It's,
to invest in you.
it's instant gratification, and it's no different than the boy who cried wolf.
Yes.
You know, it's like, can you trust me now? No, we know you are a wolf. We don't care for you. You suck. And then the rebuilding process at that level is difficult, man. Uh, I'm glad I don't have those issues. Right now, my biggest things is to continue to build my inner peace, to continue to learn emotional intelligence. And I took a course on emotional intelligence recently, which was fantastic. And, just learning how to better serve the educator space on the internet. Because believe it or not, whether you're an educator or a bricklayer or anything else, this is the 21st century. And you are doomed to fail if you do not conform to a different mindset, okay? A long term mindset. It is what it is. I'm on board.
Yeah, the digital age is it's a different land but same laws. You have to have a code of ethics. Just like a job has to have a code of ethics. It's like your business has to have a code of ethics. And the internet, there's no such things as code of ethics in at the moment, but there will become a time that it would have. It's going to have, because there's a lot of trolls on these internet. There's a lot of people that, you know, say a lot of messed up things without repercussions. And that's currently the voice of the internet. But we, like as you stated earlier, we are entering in a different stage, a different decade, and it's a new world, and standards are going to apply. And for those who do not follow them or learn how to survive within those guidelines, are going to be affected.
That is correct. The internet is vast, my friend. The internet is not just the earth. And I would really like for people to try to understand that the internet is the universe at this point.
Yes.
And there's so much untapped universe that the internet is your first grain of salt per se. It's like saying internet is earth in the vastness of itself. So there's so much real estate out there right now,
Hmm.
to create your own niche business. There's enough people on the planet to sustain you with six figures or better if you just apply high value, high ethics, and problem solving skills. That's all it is.
This is my advice when it comes to the internet. The internet, it's something that it's not like back in the day you can go to like a music store and have a physical copy of your favorite CD or cassette.
Right?
It doesn't have it doesn't have any. It's not solid. The internet is like literally like a switch on and off light. Make use of it. Appreciate it. Take the most that you can, because if somebody turns it off, you're not going to be able to survive.
Right. You won't survive. And you better hope that we don't go into the dark ages, man.
Yeah,
Because if we lose electricity, you got no internet.
I'm grateful. I'm grateful. Yeah, and what are you gonna do? You spend all your life sitting down on your couch, not learning new trades or skills. Shit, I built a deck. Me and my father-in-law built a deck in front of my house, and it's the first time I did something like that.
Awesome.
That's a new skill set. Boom, in my pocket.
And you know what? You can actually create a mini course on how to build a deck, and you'll
Boom,
probably get a million hits. And,
boom.
and, if, and if you sell that lesson for $1,
Yep.
a million people at $1 each, that's $1 million, people. You know,
Live it, learn it, love it, enjoy
exactly.
it.
Do it the DIO way,
Hmm.
and you'll get further along.
It's amazing on what what this world is becoming, and what opportunities we can set ourselves if we can only learn how to work it and learn it.
The internet is limitless. The only thing that is limited is our minds.
Yes.
And if we allow ourselves to just, lollygag through life, it is what it
Yeah,
is,
and
man.
also you have to separate from yourself from negative people. because you could, this could be like, in my opinion, this is actually high value course that people should, especially teachers that want to expand their network, and just make more money. This is a great something that they should invest in. But if you have, you're surrounded by teachers, they're like, no, and this and that, you're limiting yourself.
That every Friday from now until forever, okay, we provide a 90-minute webinar, live webinar, where any educator can register a seat through me. I go for 50 seats a week. You would join this webinar, you ask live questions, take notes, you participate, with the audience. And if you gain some value out of that, you move forward with me. If you don't, thank you for showing up. You still get a free gift. But at the end of the day, like I like to say, Theo, you can lead a teacher to water, but you can't choke the crap out of them.
Listen, everybody, everybody, how do I say it? You always have to pay for something. You always have to pay for something. The question is, what are you willing to pay for? If you're willing to pay for a fucking sofa that it's not gonna get you more money to buy other sofas, or do you want to invest your money in a course that's gonna help you buy shit, a fucking, if possible, a whole warehouse of sofas? What do you want to invest in your money in? This is a great opportunity where people need to, especially teachers, to invest their money in. Don't invest your money in, do your due diligence. That's what I have to say.
Starting January 4th,
Yes.
8-week program that we offer, 8 weeks hand holding from start to finish. We show you how to make 5 figures online, ethically, modeling success. Okay. And it's a step by step, week to week, full accountability. You get involved, we're going to be on your ass because you said, this is what I'm doing. This is what I want to do. This is what you pay for. If you pay to model success, don't cry about it if somebody's saying, where's your homework?
Yeah. Yeah.
Where's your homework, man? Because, you said you wanted to get this done, so I don't want to hear no shit, But we do this, and, I'm proud of this because this is my mentor's program. I promote his program, and like I said, I promote high-value educational affiliate programs where any teacher who's starting to grow their own business can also promote this affiliate program so that they can monetize themselves as they build their own business. We have ClickFunnels that I promote heavily. We have Rosetta Stone, believe it or not. We have the Princeton Review. We have Brain Sensei. This is just to name a few educational affiliate programs that are not only high integrity and trusting, but they pay you to promote them if you actually believe in their product. And they're not bogus products. These are products that actual people, educators and students buy. And you get paid to say, hey, by the way, I recommend this program for you. Like, are you kidding me? And most people are like, well, I don't do that. Oh no, but you'll jump on Amazon and buy whatever, spend $1,000 on stupid shit. Because it's Amazon.
Yeah,
you get it in 2 hours now.
You're making other people money, but you're not making yourself.
Yeah, well, again, it's the mindset. It's the mindset, but it is what it is, man.
Well, Gabe, before we leave, please, to those who are listening, please let us know where we can reach you at, where we can find you, how can we contact you,
Okay.
Let us know.
All right. Anybody wants to reach me, if you got D.I.O's personal number, call me there. Okay. 201-555. I'm available on Facebook every day, all day, at all hours, through my name, Gabriel Rivera, which is like John Smith. But you can find me at O.D.E, Online Digital Education, O.D.E Group, Facebook community. And I'm there 24/7, and I have my YouTube channel, Gabe Rivera, as well. for the same purpose. So you can find me in any of those two places. If not, you can call D.I.O. He's got my number.
And for those who are listening, when the episode comes out on YouTube and on the website, I will have his link description. So if anybody just wants to click on it, it'll easier. I'll make it more easier for you guys can find him. This has been a great episode. Great continuity, great conversation, great information with the mighty Gabriel Rivera. Please check him out if you're a teacher, especially. Gabe, thank you for joining me today. It's been an honor.
D.I.O. love the love, man.
We have to do this again. If I might have to come on your show to promote my t-shirt printing business, or just talk about new opportunities to motivate people.
Bring it.
I am a motivation speaker after all.
Yes, you are, and you're more than welcome. I really do appreciate you. I appreciate your wife as well. I mean, you guys have been super cool with me. I did a post recently, not to take too much more time, but I made a statement that if people only understood how long and how hard it has taken me to reach inner peace, you would understand why I choose you in my life. And D.I.O. and Diana, I choose you in my life.
Thank
you. Thank you very much, man. Bendiciones, mijo.
Amen. Take care, guys.
All right, brother.